Well, in the TAVR world, we've run a series of randomized trials starting at high risk, moving to intermediate risk, and then finally low risk. And both the low risk trials that were presented this year, TAVR was as good as or better than surgery for the primary endpoint. So it's clear that TAVR is going to move to younger, lower risk patients, and durability becomes more and more important in these younger patients. Well, we have decades of research in this surgical world. We know that valves fail for two reasons. They fail for biochemical reasons and they fail for mechanical reasons. So durability is really going to be a combination of tissue science and valve design. Well, so far the data we have on the TAVR valves looks pretty good, but as I said, we started with high risk. The mean age was 84 years old. We went to intermediate risk, the mean age was 80. We went to low risk, the mean age was about 74. And so we're not going to get good durability in people that are 80 and 84, but the low risk trials are going to be followed for 10 years. So far the durability seems to be tracking that of surgical valves, but we'd like to have technology that does even better than the current surgical valves. Well, we know from the surgical world that the durability of your valve is inversely related to how old you are. The older you are, the longer the valve lasts. And so what we'd like to do is make it last longer in young people. So again, there's two things. One, there's tissue science. We know that calcification tends to start in areas where there's still cellular debris and DNA left over in the tissue. And so we'd like to get rid of all of it and have an acellular, not just a decellularized design. We fix these with glutaraldehyde. That can be a source of calcification. We want to get rid of all the glutaraldehyde. That will leave us with potentially no calcification. And then there are valve design things where we can limit the stress by having a larger area of coaptation. We know from mitral valve repair and from aortic valve repair that the more coaptation space you have, the longer those repairs last. Well, we think that should translate into surgical valve replacement also. Well, first of all, there's a lot of evidence on ADAPT. It's been used in pediatric cases in over 20,000 cases. And as I just told you, the older you are, the longer the valves last. Conversely, the younger you are, the more quickly they fail. And ADAPT has worked well in pediatric patients, patients that should calcify tissue very rapidly. And the reason it works is it's not just a decellularized tissue, it's a completely acellular tissue, no DNA in there. And then we completely wash out all glutaraldehyde. So you put those two things together and we should end up with no calcification. That's been tested in juvenile sheep, very young juvenile sheep, less than 1 year of age, where they're still growing rapidly, where there's still a very high risk of calcification. And we see very good performance with very little calcification. So our animal work, our human work with pediatric patients all lead us to believe that the tissue science behind ADAPT is going to be a game changer. Well, we have a group of really good, bright advisors, and we've been working with the company to go over different valve designs. As you know, there's a number of valves that are out there right now, and what we're doing is kind of taking the best of both worlds and making a valve that we think is going to be easy to implant, and it's going to have very good flow characteristics with very large EOAs, hopefully above 2, and we think that this valve is going to have durability. If we can get all those things together, then we're going to have a great valve, particularly as we move to younger patients who want to be active. I think the next big development from my personal perspective as we move, again, it's all going to younger patients. When I put surgical valves in, I can always orient the valve properly, commissure to commissure. Right now we can't do that with TAVR except for the Jenna valve and the J valve, which have feet. I think one of the next big developments is going to be able to anatomically align these valves, because if we put them in the younger patients, we're going to need access to coronaries, and if we have to do a valve and valve, if we can line up the commissures each time, we can probably do more. If they are randomly distributed, that's going to be a problem. So besides the durability, which we've already talked about, which is going to be a huge thing, the next thing is going to be able to align these things anatomically, have a valve that comes right out of the box, ready to go, simple. Simple is going to be the key. Simple, reproducible, reliable.